For our next exercise in the free Google SketchUp app, we're going to create 6 Lego pieces. We'll start with this little green one. It is 5/8 by 5/16. We're working with some tiny measurements here, so we need to zoom in. Let's get our rectangle tool R. We'll begin drawing, and it was 5/8 of an inch, comma, 5/16. Enter. Tiny, tiny little thing. And the green block is 3/8 of an inch tall. For the push tool, we'll push P, click on our rectangle and go upward, and then we're going to type in 3/8, 3/8 of an inch, and push enter. Now we need to put the 2 circles on top. The circles are centered this way, and it's 5/32 of an inch is what would cut this right in half. And then they're also 5/32 up from the bottom and 5/32 down from the top. That'll create our center for each circle. I'm going to push the letter O to get the orbit tool so I can get above my block. Now I need my tape measure tool T. The halfway point is going to be 5/32, so I'm going to type in 5/32. And now from the short side, I'm also going to do 5/32, 5/32. And from its opposite side, 5/32. I'm going to push the letter C to get my circle tool. I'm going to click on the intersection between my 2 tape measure lines. The diameter of the circle on top of the Lego block is 3/16, but you'll see at the bottom right I have to type in the radius, not the diameter, so that's half the diameter. So the radius is 3/32, 3/32. And I'm going to go to the other one and do the same thing. I'm going to start in the center. I'm going to move away. 3/32. Enter. Studs. Now we need to use the push-pull tool to pull the circles upward 1/16 of an inch to create the studs. Push P for the push-pull tool. Click on the circle and go upward, and then type in 1/16. Enter. And you can do the same thing for the other side, or you can let SketchUp know that these 2 should match by coming and clinging to the edge of the other stud and just click, and then it'll make it the same height. Here is the bottom of the green brick. It's got a 1/16 inch frame all the way around. We'll use the offset tool to create that. We'll also draw a 1/8 inch circle in the middle, and then we'll use the push tool and push in 5/16 of an inch. The orbit tool will get us to the bottom of our brick. You want to select the bottom face and then click the offset tool. It is hidden behind the push-pull tool right here. Then you want to click on the edge and start bringing it inward, and then you'll type 1/16, 1/16, and push enter. To find the center of the bottom so we can create our circle, I'm going to use the tape measure tool and draw from corner to corner and corner to corner. That'll give us perfect center. Now I'll use the circle tool right on the intersection, and the circle needs to have a 1/8 inch diameter, so we need to do 1/16 for the radius, and enter. Now we need the push tool. I'm going to click on this face that I want to push in, push P, and now push inward. Make sure it's moving inward, and then I'll type 5/16, enter. And that completes the structure of our green brick. By the way, if you ever get way, way, way too far away from your drawing accidentally, it's very hard to reorient sometimes, and you might get lost inside of SketchUp and think, where did all my stuff go? You can always push Shift-Z, and that will bring you back to everything in your artwork. And then I know my brick is here on the ground down here. So Shift-Z if you kind of get lost. I'll use the eraser tool, E, to get rid of these tape measure lines. Now let's color the brick green. Come over to the right side of your screen and you'll see an icon called Materials. Click on that one. And then you want to move to Browse here on the right side, which will bring up a menu, and you want to click on Colors. and then we can browse through the colors. And the color of our brick is a really bright yellow-green, kind of a chartreuse. So I'm going to click on this one here. But first I need to select my whole brick. If you click once on your brick, it will only select a plane. If you click twice on the brick, it will select the plane and its surrounding edges. If you click 3 times with the cursor, that's the spacebar tool. If you click 3 times with it, you'll select everything that's touching the plane that you're clicking on. So now we have our whole brick selected. I'm going to come over and click on the color that I want, this bright yellow-green. Then I'm going to bring the paint bucket tool over here and click on my object. I can go back to the cursor and click away. Okay, let's quickly get our next 5 bricks built. Let's start with this pink one here. You can hide the materials menu by clicking on this X up here or this arrow. The pink brick, rectangle tool R, it's a square, 5/8, 5/8. The brick is 3/8 of an inch tall. Push tool 3/8. It also has 4 studs on top. We use the tape measure tool T and measure in 5/32. Come from the other side, 5/32, 5/32, 5/32. Circle tool C. These are 3/32 in radius, just like the other. And they are each 1/16 of an inch tall. Flip to the underside. Get rid of the girl. Offset tool, 1/16. Find the center of the bottom with the tape measure. Circle tool C, 3/32 for the radius, 4/32. Select this plane, push in 5/16. Select the center circle, push in 5/16. You'll see the bottom of this one is a little bit different than our green. Clean up some lines with the eraser tool. Select the whole brick by triple clicking. Access materials, colors, and this one is a bright magenta. Paint bucket tool on top of the brick. Click away. Next we'll do the blue brick. It's really similar to the green brick that we already did, except it's twice as tall and it doesn't have the little circle underneath it, and it's blue. I'm going to hide the materials menu again. Let's take a bit of a shortcut here. I'm going to triple click the green block. I'm going to push M for the move tool. Click on the green block and go to move it, and then push Option on your keypad, and that will make a duplicate. Then click to place your second green block. The green brick was 3/8 of an inch tall, and the blue brick is 3/4 of an inch tall, so it's twice as tall. I'm going to first get rid of this circle and its cylinder. And now let's use the push-pull tool and let's pull it another 3/8. 3/8 plus 3/8 would be 6/8, which would be 3/4. And let's turn it blue. The orange brick is also similar to the green brick, except we'll need to take off one of the studs, since it only has one. Then we'll need to draw a line on the face of it and use the push tool to slice it off. I'm going to make another copy of our green brick, so I'm going to triple click to select the whole green brick. Move tool M, click and move it, and then push Option on the keyboard, and then click to place my second brick. I want to get rid of one of these studs. And now I need to draw a line on the face of the brick. The line we need runs from the middle up top down to the right-hand side, and it crosses this edge 3 30-seconds up from the bottom. So I'm going to make a tape measure line 3 30-seconds, enter. Line tool L, I'm going to start in the middle and come down and touch the top of my line along the right-hand edge. Push tool P, I'm going to click on this top triangle and then move inward until I hit the face and then click. And I didn't really think about that happening. Let's see if we can just delete it. Let's check the damage on the underside. Oh, I see. It's not perfect, but let's get rid of this plane. And we'll call that good enough on the interior of this one. Materials, colors, triple click our new brick. The next brick is light gray, a little bit different. It's only 1/8 of an inch thick and it has 3 studs. We'll begin with a rectangle on the ground that is 5/16 by 15/16, enter. Pull tool upward 1/8, enter. Our halfway point, so we can find our circles, is 5 30-seconds. The first circle is 5 30-seconds from the edge, its center is. And the next center is 5/16 away from that. And 5/16 again. We need 3 circles with 3 30-second radiuses. 3/32, enter. And each stud is raised 1/16. My family came home, and they're loud, so I moved to the car. The bottom of the gray brick is similar to the bottom of the green brick. Let's add these 2 cylinders to the bottom, but we will ignore the tiny little interior holes. Orbiting to the bottom. It appears underneath the orange block things are much worse than I thought. Let's just simplify, even though it's sort of cheating. We also need to, let's select the interior like this, and let's add orange to the inside there. Okay, that block is definitely not perfect, but we'll leave it like that. It'll be fine. Let's go back over to our thin gray block. We need to offset by 1/16. Then we need a tape measure line to show us the middle, 5 30-seconds. The center of the circle is 5/16 away from this edge, and 5/16 away from the other edge. Circle tool, intersection, 1/8. No. Oh, it's the radius thing again. Circle tool, 1/16, excuse me. Select this face, push tool, and we only want to push it up 1/16. Triple click, and let's make it a light gray. That's actually a little dark. That's better. As I look at the last piece, I don't feel like using the push tool on 16 different studs. So instead, I'm going to make the square rectangle on the ground. I'm going to pull up, but I'm going to pull up the thickness of the brick and the thickness of the stud. So this is 1/8 and this is 1/16. So 1/8 tall for the platform plus 1/16 for the stud would be 3/16. I'm going to do that, draw all my circles, and then pull down in one stroke to leave all of these up at the height they want to be, instead of lifting each one 16 times. This last brick is 1 1/4 by 1 1/4, 1 space 1/4, comma, 1 space 1/4. The thickness of the platform only would be 1/8, but I'm going to go ahead and raise this all the way to the top of the studs as well, so that's going to be 3/16 tall. I need a bunch of tape measure lines so I know where my circles go. The first line is 5/32. The next one is 5/16 from there, 5/16 from there, and 5/16 from there. Then we'll move from the perpendicular edge, 5/32 first, now 5/16, 5/16, and 5/16. Now we need a bunch of circles with 3 30-second radiuses, 3/32, enter. And I could do that 16 times, but instead I want to use a copy and paste mechanism. Click on the circle, push M for move. Grab it from its center, that's important. Go to move it to the next center and then push Option. Now repeat that 16 times, it's a little bit faster. With the Move tool M, click on the middle, move it to its next location, and then push Option. And I suppose if we're feeling really efficient, we could select all 4 of these. I'll click on the first circle, hold Shift, click on the second circle, still holding Shift, third circle, still holding Shift, fourth circle, Move tool M, clicking on the inside of this second circle, moving it over a row, but then clicking Option. And I'm going to repeat that gesture. Now we have 16 circles, and we don't need to bring each one of them up. Instead, we need to bring the whole platform down. I'm going to click on this face, push P, and bring it downward by 1/16. Let's head to the bottom. As with all our bricks so far, we're going to offset the edge by 1/16. The tape measure lines we'll need here are 5/16, 5/16, 5/16, and from the perpendicular edge, the same thing, 5/16, 5/16. The first circle is 3 30-seconds in radius, and the outer circle is 4 30-seconds. Now let's use our copy and paste mechanism. I had better luck if I click on the face of these 2 circles instead of clicking on the edge of them. Move tool M, Option, Move tool, Option, and now I'll click on all 6 of these circles on the face, not on the edge of them. I think it works a little bit better. Move tool M, tap Option before you click, and once more. We can push this face in by 1/16. Unfortunately, I don't know of an expedient way to get all 9 of these in, so you'll just have to do each one at a time. 1/16. I am at least clicking on the edge of my block instead of having to type. I guess that's a little bit efficient. Okay, there's the end of our gray block. Let's clean up. And let's color it. It's getting dark. And that finishes our 6 blocks. Now, let's have some fun. SketchUp has kind of a sticky geometry. If I triple click this green block and then use the Move tool M, and I put it on top of this pink block, because now the green block and the pink block are touching, they inform one another. I can't just come grab the green block and pull it back off. It does terrible, stretchy, frightening things. So to prevent that, what you want to do is, after having triple clicked a brick, right click it, and you can group it. Now this is self-contained. I can click on it. I don't even have to triple click it anymore. I can just click it once. Let me come move it and place it on top of the pink block, and then let me come take it back off. So I can triple click each of these blocks and right click them and make them a group so that when I go to move them with the move tool, they don't go and stick to everything else. But what would be even better is to turn these bricks into components, not groups. So if I triple click this blue block and then I right click it, I have make group, but I also have make component. These two have identical effects, except if I make it a component, it adds it to my toolbox over here, and then I can duplicate it more easily. So making a component is like making a group that you intend to make a bunch of copies of. So let's do that. Let's go through all 6 of these bricks and make them all into their own components. So triple click the blue, right click, make component. This is my blue block, and push OK. Triple click the green. Oh, it was already a group, so don't triple click. Single click the green, right click, make component, green block. I could say chartreuse block, which means yellow-green, but that would be super pretentious. Okay, and magenta block, single click since we made it a group earlier. Make component, pink block. Triple click our dark gray block. Make component, dark gray block. Triple click the light one, make component, light gray block. And triple click the orange one and make component, orange block. Now in the same toolbox that had our materials icon, there is a components icon. Click on that, click on home, and now those 6 blocks that we saved as components are now reusable, like pulling them from a toolbox. So I can just grab a new pink block and put it in the composition as often as I want. I can come grab the blue one. And it's a little less tedious than clicking and copying and pasting. So now I have all of these blocks I can pull out as needed. Now it's dark and raining. Now I want you to build some things with these 6 bricks, but before you do, let me show you just a few more things. Let's delete everything. Command A will select all and push delete on your keypad. We still have our 6 components in our toolbox, so that's no problem at all. Let me show you how to rotate your blocks. Bring out one of your Lego blocks. If you hover over these red plus signs, those bring up a rotation device, so you can click on it and spin it. If you want to type in the angle, you can. You'll see an angle populating in the bottom right. Or you can watch for an axis to pop up. See, we're along the red axis now. Or now we're along the green axis right there. So that's one way to rotate your bricks. You can also rotate them this way, side to side. When you are stacking your bricks, you need to pay attention to where you're grabbing it in order to move it. So you're using the move tool, M. If I want this corner to meet with this corner, it's important that I click on this corner to go move this one, because that allows me to line up those 2 corners very easily. If instead I'm just holding onto the surface of the brick, it's a little harder to line up where I want it to go. So think about alignment points. Think about corners that might meet or edges that might meet, and try to move it in that manner. It's a lot easier. So I'm going to grab it by the corner, and then I'll come and put it up along the other corner. Let's put one up that's been rotated. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to rotate it to match the red axis. Now, move tool, I click M again. Now I'm going to move this one up and put it up on top of here. I could put a piece up underneath now. I could take my orange piece. I need to click it by that corner right there if I want to align it to right there on my structure. What if I want to take this green block and put it over these 2 holes? If I go to move it and I start to go place it there, it's pretty hard to get it right where I need it. It's kind of floating a little bit. There could be a couple of possibilities for how to do that. You could take your tape measure tool back out and measure and give yourself a mark like this, and that shows you the anchor where you want to head towards. So now I could take my corner and go place it on that intersection. And that looks like that aligned it correctly. Or if you think it would be easier, you could use other bricks as a reference. If I know that's where I need my brick to end up, I could place a brick that would be easy to locate. Let's just rotate this one. And now I'm going to move this one to match this corner. And now I could line up this block to that corner without having to do all those tape measure lines. So I'll spin round here. And you do always have to select the brick you're wanting to move. Otherwise, you're always moving the previously selected thing. So cursor tool, click on the component, then push M. And now I'll just line this up to that corner. And see, now I could just delete this brick that I didn't want there in the first place, and I didn't have to go through the headache of those tape measure lines. So let me build a little structure using one of all of our components, just for fun. And before I wrap this up, let me show you one more really cool effect. On the right-hand side, where your materials and components were, click on Display and turn on Shadows. You can even tell it the date to reorient the sun and the time of day, which affects the length of the shadows. I think this is a really nice effect as you build an interesting form, and then you can light it as well. I can't wait to see what you build with your 6 bricks.